Hello everyone, and welcome back. This is a new series that I've started. I'm really excited about it. I've been wanting to do this for a while. I've mentioned in some of my other videos kind of the reason of why I started dyeing yarn. At first, I didn't know that I could make a business out of yarn dyeing. My purpose was really to have a supply of yarn so that I could design knitwear patterns with. So that's where I got my start. Dyeing yarn then became its own beast, if you will. I fell in love with it and I soon made a business of it. But I've never lost my love of designing knitwear. Now, I'm quite the amateur at it. It's something that I'm learning along the way, but I really enjoy doing it. And I think it's something that anyone can learn to do if they'd like to. So my purpose with these videos is to share my journey in the design world. Knitting patterns, crochet patterns, I am learning how to design both. So I'm going to be taking you along with me on my creative and designing journey. Of course, my patterns that I designed feature my yarn, and they're designed to showcase the beauty that hand-dyed yarns have. And of course, because I own my own hand-dyed yarn business, I have so much yarn at my disposal in so many different fibers and weights, so I'm constantly being inspired. And I hope that when you watch the videos that are part of this series, you will be inspired to try something new as well, to learn a new skill, to perhaps delve into something that you may at first find intimidating. And I have to admit, I do find designing knitwear to be a bit of a challenge, and it is, but as I said, anyone can learn it. If you want to, you can do anything. These videos will have a bit of everything. I will sometimes perhaps show the dyeing process of the yarn that I use in a specific design. Other times I might just talk about certain techniques and methods that I've used or stitch patterns that I've used in the design. I might talk more about technical things, about pattern writing, about editing, the math involved, the inspiration behind the design. Any references that I use that I think that you would find helpful as well. And sometimes I'll include all of these things. So talking about things that I will mention in these videos, how about I tell you a little bit about what you're seeing in this video. So obviously I've dyed the yarn. You can see me doing that here. So this is the yarn that I used for this particular pattern, the Winter Wanderlust wrap. This is a pattern that I designed a few years ago, and recently I revamped it, improved on it, made it a little bit better. And that's another thing, when you design things, you learn things along the way, so that sometimes you go back and revisit patterns that you did previously, and you can see where you can make improvements or do things better. So that's what happened here. There was some changes that I wanted to make to this pattern to make it even better, and I was really happy with the results. I'm glad I did that. So I used a worsted weight yarn. I used two worsted weight yarns in this pattern. One is a BFL, so that's a blue-faced Leicester, 100% wool yarn. And then the second one I used was a merino, 100% merino wool, and both of those are worsted weight. So some I dyed in solid colors, and some of the yarn I dyed in speckled. So that's what you can see happening here. And then I've got some little knit samples. Knitting samples is such an important part of the design process, and I could dedicate a whole video on that. I love knitting little swatches, knitting little samples, so that I can get a feel for how the yarn is going to play. I can work out any design details that I have. I can't say enough about swatching and knitting little samples. It's so important. I'm not going to get into talking about that in this video because I'm probably always going to be talking about that in other videos that I have in this series because it is such an important part of the design process. I'm keeping this video fairly simple because it's my first one in this series, so I haven't quite figured out the format that I want for it. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just fly by the seat of my pants for all of these videos. But anyways, just enjoy this footage. I'm preparing the yarn. I've dyed it. I'm now twisting it up. And this is the yarn that I used, again, for this design. And I made kits available on my website. So people could buy the pattern on its own, or if they wished, they could buy a yarn kit in 2 colorways. I made it available in 2 colorways, and they can just, I think that a lot of people find that easier instead of making color choices, just to have a kit available that they can purchase. It's convenient, and then they can just start knitting and enjoying the process right away. I can't begin to tell you how thrilling it is to spend so much time designing and problem solving and working out all the logistics of a pattern, looking at it in 2 dimensions, and then finally having the actual finished garment in your hands. Here I am taking photos of the finished design. I'm so pleased with how it turned out. Most of the pictures that I take, not only of my yarn, but also of my designs, I take the pictures myself. Sometimes my husband helps me to do that, but he's not always available. So I have a system rigged up here where I'm using my phone as a remote for my camera. I can look into my phone, get myself positioned, see how things look, and then I can press the button in the app that I use on my phone, and it will take it's linked to my camera to take the picture. So it's not very convenient. It's a bit laborious, a bit frustrating, but with patience, I get the photos that I want. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video. This is number 1 in this series. I have much more to come, and I look so forward to sharing what I've learned and what I'm continuing to learn in the world of knitting and crochet design. As always, feel free to like and share my content. And please, if you have any questions about pattern design, please leave those in the comments because it'll give me ideas of what to include in future videos. It'll help me to know what you really would like to learn or see in my videos. So again, thank you so much for watching this video. and for supporting my channel. Again, if you don't want to miss any content, then please subscribe. And again, I thank you for your support. And until next time, bye.